you ready? The Kornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Kornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Kornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kornelia Stephanie Show. It's Friday, and it is our Stories of Hope series, which I so love doing and bringing you these amazing people from around the world that are here to share incredible stories with you so that we can all thrive and make a better life for ourselves. So, my first guest today is Abe Gurko. He packed his bags and moved from New York City to Hollywood. He wasn't leaving a career in the fashion industry to chase the usual dreams of becoming a movie star. He wanted to be a mechanic to the machine called celebrity. Abe said he wanted to know how it worked. Over the next few years, he developed his skills as a behind the scenes creative force by working on a couple of daily variety talk shows and worked for several years with arguably the coolest woman in Hollywood, Carrie Fisher. There, he acquired an intimate knowledge of the entertainment industry, or as he liked to say, I was Alice and I went careering through the looking glass. Well, he's here today. Abe Gurko, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. So you are currently living in LA and
Hmm.
you went on a mission to discover how it works. And so what did you find out?
That it's less interesting than I imagined.
It's
It's the truth is when you, as a child, always looked up to the Hollywood dream machine and just kind of felt like a kid looking through the store, that whole my whole life because I was just like a nerdy little kid in New Jersey and the movies were a place to escape, and so it was a lifelong mission to get here. And then when you get here, and it's like I say, the Alice, through the looking glass phenomenon, you get in there and the people are regular and everyone has problems and they're funny and they're sad and they have moods and it was a lesson in knowing that, we're all equal and no matter what level of strata they might be in terms of the Hollywood system, in terms of individual realness, we're all like cut from the same cloth, really. So it was a lesson to enjoy being in there, and it was just as pleasant coming out, and being where I am now, which is just finished a book which embraces the challenges of life that I believe I had to go through to get to this point to actually put pen to paper. Has been great. And I was listening to your intro, and your intro sounds exactly like the official subtitle of my book. So the book is called Won't Be Silent, Don't Stop Till It Matters. But legally, the subtitle is Embracing My Superpowers of Humor and Optimism to Survive Second Generation Holocaust, Coming Out, Addiction, and Endless Unbelievable Obstacles. And it just sounds like a perfect connection to what you're doing with your show and the message that I'm kind of leaving behind with my book.
Yeah. So the book, that is a whole, I'm sure, passion project in itself.
Hmm.
And you said some words there about Holocaust. So there was painful trauma, obviously, there that came up uh, for you to look at, right? Because whatever that entailed, which I'm sure wasn't pretty. And then you talked about drug addiction. and then
Hmm.
all the other challenges. So all other challenges, like what, what all the things. So it sounds to me like you went through a lot of uh pain.
Hmm. It starts when I'm in this very small minority here in America, which is my parents survived the Holocaust. My mother was in Dachau, survived that, and my dad was sent to Siberia to a work camp, to a gulag, and survived that. And actually, after that, rather than going to freedom after the war, he joined the underground and were part of this group called Flight that smuggled the Jews out of these DP camps after the war to what's now Israel. So it's really a lot to come from when you're the child of that and knowing their history, which my mother was very quick to share her life story with us. My dad, not so much, but you're entering Earth with it. I don't know if to me it was a disadvantage because it had so much emotional baggage attached into it, and it makes you feel guilty for something you have no control over because you know the horror that they had survived. So
Uh,
when I say, finding that superpower, it took years, but the DNA that my parents have to have survived that is something that I needed to know that I have that DNA and I need to be able to tap into that, which fortunately, and part of like understanding, and it took a long time, I'm not going to lie, that the book helps me completely embrace of that. No, I kind of, you do things not knowing that you're doing them in life, but why I keep forging through clearly ties back to having that kind of amazing, unique DNA.
so good. It's so good. Just by even saying all of that, speaking the words that you're speaking, I just feel a lot of healing in what you're saying and all of that, because there was a lot that I'm sure your mother shared and that your family endured and things that they had to deal with. I mean, there's so much about it. So the fact that you also can recognize then that strength, that what they've endured, that is in your DNA, and that are tapping into that strength, which is again heroic. It's healing. It's um, self-realization. And now, I'm curious about the drug addiction, because that stands out to me. So the drug addiction, was the drug addiction because you went on a mission to go to Hollywood and to go and find out and how the mechanics work, and then you found yourself in all of that, where with everything that you were surrounded by, and then you also had your past coming back, with what you were dealing with the Holocaust, the trauma, and all of that. And so then drug addiction comes in. And was drug addiction, was it because you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, where you were just kind of like blindsided and boom, there it was? I know for me, it happened one time and boom, I was addicted. And then I was on drugs for a long time. That's kind of like, oh,
Yes, the best people are ex-addicts.
you know, oh, that's what happened. So, or, was it a way for you to numb pain? And
You know, it's never one thing. I will say the inciting incident to why I became a drug addict in hindsight is, my dad died in a very terrible way, and I felt very responsible. It's in the book.
oh,
And I never got a chance to apologize, which was such a heavy burden
mm,
that it, it's no coincidence that it was, hey, look, it was also the 70s, and who wasn't on drugs? I'm sorry, you
yeah,
know. And I was running in the fast lane. I was at Studio 54, and it was just part of the lifestyle. So I kind of attributed the addiction to the lifestyle, but the truth is underneath that was the horror of having told my father and having a fight with him the night he died before he never came to. So
mm,
that's where a lot of that comes from. It took a long time to get through that and to get clear from the other side of the darkness that comes with all that level of guilt and shame, and and just again, not ever feeling worthy to live up to what my parents had survived. I mean, that's there's so many reasons to compound why I kept going as an addict. And even when I would stop, I would start again because there was just levels of, clarity that I was not getting. Not taking drugs is one thing. Healing your mind is a different process. But yeah, so the addiction was pretty major, and it came in waves and starts and stops, but always the knowing that I needed to get on the other side of the darkness that comes with addiction, you
Yeah.
know, and and to feel like you're an inspiration to other people is important
Yeah.
to
I think
be.
it's so important what you're doing now, the story that you're telling, the book that you wrote, just sharing your story, that in itself, the realization that you had, the healing that you're doing. I know there's a lot more to storytelling in your life of what there is, because there was a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of inspiration to share as well. But I do want to talk a little bit about your book. So the title of your book, where to get it?
It's Won't Be Silent, Don't Stop Till It Matters, Amazon. And if you want audiobook, it's either Audible or iBooks. I wanted to record it myself. I went back to New York to record it because a lot of the history was in New York City. But yeah, it, it's almost like when you read the book or when you hear the audio, it's like you're in a room chit chatting with me. It's kind of like this same tempo of honest conversation is how I wanted to write it. It's in my voice. It, the first draft or the second draft of the book was very much like book, words. And then, the woman who was editing with me, who knows me through social media, she goes, I think it would be better if you spoke more like yourself. So it's been a joyous process. And yeah, so and this is a new level of the journey. I mean, life, we all know, is a hero's journey, and it becomes really heroic when you don't feel like you earn your stripes to have calling yourself a hero on a journey. So yeah, I
Yeah,
did
I
it.
just,
It's here, and the reviews are so unbelievable that I cry from some of these reviews. I mean,
oh,
this 19-year-old kid in Austria read the book and like sent me a 3-minute video, which I have posted on my social media platforms. Like, just can't believe I have nothing in common with this man. I don't know even why I'm reading it, and just the life lessons I've taken from it, that is so rewarding
oh,
to
wow.
know that that is a takeaway from just me telling my trials and tribulations.
Yeah,
It's really a
yeah.
joy.
Well, I just think that's fabulous. What are the social media handles that people can follow you on?
So if you're on TikTok, just go to Won't Be Silent, which is the name of the book. On YouTube, it's youtube.com/, won't be silent. On Instagram, it's Abe Gurko, my name. Also, same thing with Facebook. And I've started Substack. Substack, I don't know if anyone's on that. It's a lovely community. I
Nice.
feel like it's a hopeful place considering all these other all these other platforms have become so, 60-second sound bites and like misinformation. And Substack is a place where if you want to hear truth and you want to read and you want to kind of get a little deeper into people, it's not as immediate necessarily as the other ones, but I find like a very safe environment there. So it's Substack. It's Abe Won't Be Silent at Substack.
Yeah, I'm gonna join Substack. I've been looking at Substack for a while now, for a few months, and I just haven't gone in, but it's definitely on my list of places to
It's a
join.
good moment now because they're updating the platform. They've added the ability to post either little videos and or comments or images where that it doesn't have to be a whole written piece. So it's almost like they're kind of utilizing the Instagram model of reels, but it's not people like doing eye makeup. It's just a different ilk.
Yeah,
And
I guess
jump in.
the reason why I haven't, but we have to wrap up. The reason why
Mhm.
I haven't is because uh I'm also getting ready to launch a few projects, and I thought, oh well, after I launch the projects, then I'll go in and get this started. But I'll get it done now. I'll get it
Right.
done
Or
now.
try using the Substack to help launch your projects.
Yeah. So, Abe, I
Great.
want
Thank
to,
you.
yeah, I want to be able to, I'd love to talk with you again. I think you have a beautiful, you're meant to tell your story. Obviously, this is all meant to be. Your voice is great. You definitely need to be on radio, all the things. And I just feel like, I'd love to talk to you again. So I will have
Yeah,
connect us, and maybe we can do a longer show with you and go a little bit deeper. So,
sure.
final words for the audience from you.
This too shall pass if you're in a space right now that you feel like you need to just get through a particular challenge. This is a weird time politically, and America feels very un-American right now, especially for me, whose parents survived the Holocaust. I feel, where is my country? But this shall pass. It always does. And have hope.
That's it. Stories of hope here on the Cornelia
Hmm.
Stephanie Show. Thank you, Abe Gurko, for
Thank
coming,
you.
and I appreciate you being here. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited to introduce you to our next guest. Dr. Marcia Martin, M.E.D., Ph.D., the heart healer, is here. She's a special empowerment spiritual counselor, metaphysical minister, best-selling author, public speaker, clairaudient angel communicator, specializing in helping people heal their relationship with themselves. By healing the heart of all past pain and trauma, you'll be able to establish and maintain healthy relationships with yourself and all others so you can live a successful life. Her unique heart-centered energetic healing approach, the angel heart healing technique, enables you to build the perfect relationship with yourself and helps you answer the questions: who am I? Why am I here? And where am I going? Marcia will help you release your greatest fears so that you can achieve your biggest dreams as you heal your heart and transform your life. Welcome to the show today, Dr. Marcia.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's so good, this work that you are doing, helping people realize and become the authority over their own lives. What is it that got you started with this work?
My own need to take back control over my life, and that belief that I had been taught from a young child that I didn't know what was going to be best for me, and that I continuously needed to give power to those in authority, those who may be older, or what whomever I decided to assign it to. Somebody always seemed to be something that I wanted to be that never could be, until my life got so dark and depressing and unlivable that it forced me on that journey to understand, well, who is in charge of my life? Who gets to make decisions for me?
Yeah, that's exactly because we were trained and conditioned to give our life force energy, our power away to everything outside of us. Would you agree with that?
100%. And especially as women,
Mm.
I'm in, in that boomer range. And so we were definitely conditioned that there was always a male that had power and should be respected because they are male, not necessarily because they had experience or expertise in a particular area, simply because they were male. And that can lead you into some really dark places because even the most well meaning person is not you, and they don't know what is best for you, what will work for you, and what will bring you joy. That's a personal experience that you need to be honest with yourself and choose for yourself.
Yeah, there's so much with that comes up, most people don't even feel comfortable to even ask themselves what their needs are. Like what do you need right now? What do you need right now? What could you use right now? What is it that you need? Because they're so used to uh people pleasing, taking care of
Yes.
everyone else, and all the things that uh to train yourself then to put yourself into the equation, that to start listening to what you need and what's important to you rather than focusing on the other.
And I think it often feels awkward. We've been living this pattern for so long that when you first begin stepping out into that place where you say, "Oh, I'm supposed to identify first if I have a need and then what I need to do in order to fulfill it." It may feel very awkward and uncomfortable. You may feel as though you're going against what you should be doing. And this is when I want to really encourage people to keep going. It's okay. It is not selfish to pursue allowing yourself to feel good. And it was explained to me by my angelic support system that I had it all wrong. I was so concerned about being selfish that I would regularly empty myself to the point of exhaustion and then couldn't figure out why I was miserable. And they said to me, "No, you don't really understand the difference between selfish and selfless. What you are doing, this way of giving, where you give from your humanness and you empty and empty and empty yourself out into everyone and then become exhausted, is what we consider selfish because you are emptying your knowledge, your strength, your everything into other people, but you're not encouraging them to learn how they too can do it. So when you become exhausted, all those who have become dependent upon you are left saying, "Well, we don't know what to do now. She did it all for us." So they encourage us to create independence by first filling our own selves until we are full to overflowing. Fill up on everything that feels good. Fill up on those things that bring joy, that inspire you to be loving and giving and excited to face each day. Fill up on that. Let yourself receive first. Then continue to receive. Now you're overflowing and you can give forever from your overflow because it is through your connection to the divine that you are able to continue refilling, and that connection will never be severed. So now you can be this support system that you thought you were being originally without any danger to yourself, and at the same time teach others that when you fill up first, you too can be that support system for others. And it's a much more comprehensive form of healing for the world because each person gets better instead of each person becoming more dependent and then depleted.
1,000%. So I'm 100%, 1,000% in agreement with everything you said. And it's like, yes, 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 on all levels. Uh, what, what the patterns that we're breaking when we're really looking at our own autonomy here and our own sovereignty and our independence. what is also happening then when we're breaking those patterns, right? Uh, and I'd like to hear what you're saying about this, is that where before so many people used to depend on us in the ways that we were giving our energy away, giving our power away, giving our authority away, running on empty, if you will. Then when we stop that pattern and we really start focusing on ourselves, you know, you could feel like, oh, um, they don't need you anymore, kind of feeling, right?
Oh,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like it's kind of like almost like a payoff kind of thing. I don't know, where you're like the payoff to keep that going is because you feel needed. Did
Yes, absolutely. That is an absolute truth. And another false teaching.
Yeah,
We are taught, well, you're only important if somebody needs you.
yeah,
That is what gives you value. But when you begin to understand, oh, I have intrinsic value because I am. I
yeah.
am a child of the divine. I am magnificent. I am perfect as I am. When that value becomes you connecting with all that you are, you will reflect that out to all others. And then you're no longer in a dependency relationship. So, okay, your child grows up and moves away. That doesn't make you less of a person. It means you have successfully helped that child enter adulthood, and now they are free to explore the world in the way that feels best to them. Your role has shifted, but that's okay. It's just a role, it isn't you. And I think in the past, I didn't know who I was, so I just tried to play different roles depending on where I was, hoping that who I was with would like the role that I was playing, because I didn't know that I could just be me. And I didn't know who I was either. So it was difficult to pick out from all of those people that weren't me, one that I liked enough to stay. All of that had to go. And it had to be, who am I? Not what am I?
It's so nice to, when a person that knows, that has that that realization, they know who they are. They know who they are. It's so nice to be in that energy with another person that knows who they are. And I just imagine a world where people have answered these questions for themselves. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? And they know who they are. Or imagine a dinner party and the people that are coming to your house, they all know who they are. Isn't that isn't that just such a fabulous difference than where we are today, right? Meaning that this we're just scratching the surface with this.
And it's so much easier to be around people who say, I just love being me, instead of, well, I bought this brand new blah, 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 blah. And that is somehow going to make me think that you're a better person. That doesn't, that tells me you've bought something. It doesn't tell me who you are. And I want to know you. I don't really
Yeah.
care what car you drive. I don't know that much about cars, so you're wasting your energy on me. Tell me about you. Who
Mm.
are you? What brings you joy? What are you doing in your life right now that gives you that sense of satisfaction that allows you to feel I'm making a positive difference in the world? And let's be clear, that does not mean I am a leader. I am the next scientific discovery. It doesn't matter the magnitude of the gift. It matters that you are sharing a smile. Perhaps you've said a kind word to somebody that may not have heard that if you were not here. It's not the size, it is the heart resonance that you are giving that gift with. So if we can all remember that everyone needs us to share that smile, to be kind, to point out what's right instead of what's wrong, we will be that much more able to make those positive, self affirming choices when life is not feeling good. When we got that challenge, when we got that doctor report that we're like, hey, I didn't sign up for this. Let's be clear too that we pretty much sign up for everything that we receive. We don't necessarily sign up for it consciously. It is not punishment, absolutely not punishment. It is an opportunity to grow. Sometimes we will encounter things that we cannot recover from because we have chosen that this is going to be what we want to experience, and our interaction with it is more important than successfully overcoming it. And that's something that I used to be very upset that I don't understand. This doesn't seem right. It's so unfair. It's wonderful. If you come up against a challenge that is bigger than you, but you are successfully able to interact with it because you've learned something from it, you are not a failure. You're just a discoverer. You have discovered something new about this that we may not have understood if you hadn't agreed to that particular moment of challenge. So please don't call yourself a failure when things don't go smoothly. Just imagine that you're an explorer. We're all on a journey. Allow yourself to explore without judgment.
There's so much freedom in the things that you just shared with, how to, that maybe it's about interacting with the experience, being in the experience. It's about how you show up in it and how important it is that you show up in the experience so that we can learn from what it is that you are observing, what it is that you are sharing. I just appreciate this perception so much. There's a lot of freedom in that. I want to be able to tell the audience how they can look you up and follow you on social media. What are your social media handles?
Come to our website. We are now a nonprofit foundation.
Oh,
So this is I'm so excited thing because when I was moving from that space of darkness into what is now for me a space of unending joy, finances were really tight.
oh
There
yeah.
was no way to get support. And I focus on people helping people to recover from trauma. But I identify trauma as though um, it can be anything. If it knocked you off, then allow it to be trauma and do something to heal it. So come to our website. It's the Heart Healing Foundation.org, and you are welcome to receive counseling on a sliding scale so that we can offer something for everyone. But we're also on YouTube, on Facebook. We're all about education, inspiration, motivation, and transformation.
I love that. So I definitely want to have you come back to go have another show and like a longer discussion. So what I'll do is I'll have Ashley connect us and we can set a time to have you come back where we can talk further because I want to hear more about your nonprofit, what you're excited about, what you just set up. And the whole piece about, I know that we can shed light to a lot of women that are out there that are possibly doing spiritual businesses that they're putting out their mission work, and they feel they need resources, right?
It's so important that we support each other and that we honor that we are all on a journey. And truly, the only reason that I learned this is because I used to live my life believing and condemning myself as a failure because
Mm.
I never let myself celebrate anything. Nothing was good enough. I could climb Mount Everest in a week and I would get to the top and say to myself, if you'd done it in 3 days, then that would have been something that was worthwhile. But then if I did it in 3 days, I would have said, well, if you should have been up there in 24 hours. There was there was never a good enough. It was always, so what? Ah, you're just not as good as other people. And it was such a damaging and depressing way to live my life that I am so grateful to be where I am now. But it's so important to me to help others begin that journey from frustration and failure to success, victory, celebration.
Because you know what though? There's so many people. I see this a lot. I see it, I've seen it in myself. I see it a lot in people. And that is, what you just said about it's never enough, that you receive the way that the way that you were viewing yourself in your achievements, that it's okay. It's that kind of energy and oh, it's okay. It's like not that big of a deal.
Right. So
Whatever, or
what?
you should,
You know,
or you should be, it should be better or whatever. That whole thing, is what would serve us to all shift and move more into, um, you know, greater appreciation. One of my daily practices, which I'm sure that you will love this, is, I am so proud of myself where I am. Proud, so proud,
I do love that. And that is something that I talk with all of my clients with is I will often say, I'm so proud of you. Do
so
you
proud.
realize how far you've come or how much energy or strength or courage or whatever fits it took in order to make that decision or hold that line or continue even though it wasn't the most pleasant experience. It is so important to be proud of whatever progress you are making and learn to measure it in infinitesimal steps. Don't run a mile and say, oh, well, I guess that was okay. Walk a step and say, yeah, I'm so proud of myself. I got up out of that chair. I walked a step. I'm committing to walking more. It's amazing. I'm so proud of myself. It is so much easier to go from success to success than it is from failure to success. So make it easy for yourself to achieve little successes. And before you realize it, you are going to be one massive ball of success, and then you're unstoppable.
I can't wait to talk to you again. I just feel like doing cartwheels right now. Cartwheels. Hello. Let's tell the audience the name of the website one more time, and then we're going to go to break.
Absolutely. It is thehearthealingfoundation.org.
The Heart Healing
Foundation.
Foundation.org. Well,
Correct.
I just appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on. You've certainly inspired me, and I know the audience will feel that inspiration as well. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break now on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Catherine Tyson-Sewell. She's a trained social worker and family counselor with undergraduate degrees in psychology and social work and a master's degree in social work. She's well known in the Cayman Islands, which she's coming from right now, as a media personality in the areas of radio, print, and television. She's the current producer and host of the CTS Wind Down Radio Show,
Wind
and
down.
Wind Down Radio Show, and the past producer of her TV show, Lighten Up with Catherine Tyson. Catherine is the author of I'm Somebody's Mama, a humorous celebration life as a struggling single mother to her three children with her most recent follow up book, Single Mama. Powerful, not pitiful, currently available on all platforms online. Welcome to the show today, Catherine Tyson-Sewell.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Very exciting.
So you are currently coming to us from the Cayman Islands, and you are
Yes.
there doing the work that you're doing. You're still doing radio and television work, and you're also now in the book selling business, book writing business, book selling business.
I've been in that business. My first book was 2009, so I've been in the book writing business for a while. And it took me this long to finally get the follow-up book out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a book done, that's an accomplishment in itself. So I think that's huge. So with the message today, what is it that you want to inspire our audience with today, with what you with your gifts, with what it is that you want to share?
So I think a really huge thing for me, obviously, my books are about being a parent, being a mother, and being a single mother on a single mother journey. When I was quite a young woman, I was 26 years old when I started the journey. And so 30 years later, I've just seen that the world could use some more, stories of hope, stories of encouragement, and especially from this demographic. I'm not that demographic any longer, which is interesting. It's 30 years later. When I started my single parent journey, my children were 6 months, 4 and 5. They're now obviously the baby is 30. And
Wow.
so I have a 30-year-old, a 33-year-old, and a 35-year-old. And I just and I'm a social worker by profession. And so it's just been a recurring situation in my life. I've worked with so many vulnerable communities, and I just continue to do this work. And I just feel like this area is an area that I want to stay in right now because I think the world needs it. And I'm like on the other side of it now. So I can say, hey,
Yeah.
been there, done that, got the t-shirts, but guess what? You can be amazing. You are amazing. Your children can be amazing. And don't let the stereotypes tell you what's going to happen with your life, but let you be in charge of creating those stereotypes.
Yeah. Yeah. So would you say that, what you've experienced as a single mother raising three children, being in the profession that you're in and being an author and all the things, I mean, businesswoman, all the things that you're doing, counselor, therapist, mother, uh, all that, would you say that your children are your legacy, that what you're the most proud of?
Yes, I've said that for a long time, and I think it's the beautiful thing about it is starting off as a young woman, 26 years old, and the world is in front of you, and all your friends are partying and having a good time, and
Yeah.
and you have three people that are like, needing you to be there. And I think just thank God, I'm just very, very grateful for having a great mindset during that time because it could have been, a real situation where you feel like these kids are cramping my style. And I kind of put that in the first book, like, when I realized that actually they're my style. They're not cramping it, they're my style. And so now when I look at these three amazing people that I actually raised and they're just doing such great things in the world and they're just amazing humans, I'm just so glad that I was able to look at that from a different standpoint in order for me to pour all that stuff into them and for them to be out there just representing me and representing themselves and just being such great contributors in this world. So yeah, absolutely. I do believe that they are your legacy at the end of the day. And what better legacy could you have, people that you've given birth to. However, on the other side, if you're not doing kind of the right things, or things are just happening along the way and you're not appreciating that journey, and the kids are kind of getting messed up, that's also your legacy.
Yeah. I
I
think
hold parents accountable, so
Yeah, accountability is huge, but also, towards yourself as well. I think, the mindset that you had even from an early on, like your friends were partying, having a good time. The children were, consuming all of you. And,
Yeah,
when you have children, that's what it is. It's what it is. That's what it is, right?
right.
So, the thing is that I think the work that you're doing is so important because uh, you being able to share what your life was like, what your stories were, what the things that you struggled with, and at the same time, you accepted and embraced what is and made your children, made it your style, uh, made it empowered rather than victimized.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I get questions a lot of, what kept me motivated. And my answer is always these three little people.
Mm,
I always had these three sets of eyes looking back at me, and you know, they're innocent. They
mhm.
didn't ask to be here, and they didn't mess my life up. So they didn't deserve for me to behave that way towards them. They just deserved for me to be as happy about them as they were about me.
Totally.
Because every single time that I come through that door, and even right now, when they see me, they're very excited to see me. And every time I came through that door, I'd have these people, Mommy, I was the best thing in the world, and nothing that happened out there mattered anymore. And so that was always my motivation. And that's what I tell my parents that I work with, let them be your motivation. I have a lot of women that are, broken, and they're looking for relationships, and they're going through a lot of things, and they'll say, oh, what's going on? I got to just keep going. And what kept you going? I'm like, let your kids be your focus. Let them be your motivation. Because on this side of it, I'm so happy that that's what happened, because they're my best friends. Like, they're literally the best friends in my life,
Yeah. Is
other
that
than my husband.
okay, other than your husband? I love the fact that your kids are happy to see you then and now. Let your
Absolutely.
kids be your focus can be the article, the title of the book, another
Yeah.
one. Let your
Yeah.
kids, because like you said, I'm going to continue on with this mission. I'm going to continue on. Obviously, there's a huge need. The fact that you have no um there's no resentment energy there. There's so, it's so good. And your kids can feel that. And that was instilled a long time ago, which
Yeah.
it's just so beautiful that they're so happy to see you then and now.
They're my favorite people in the world. And it's funny, right now we're on a small island. So, if I run into them somewhere, like, it's that same look, like, oh, I didn't know you were coming to the bank, and it's amazing. And it's so beautiful. I'm now married. I got married almost 3 years ago. We've been together almost 7 years. We have a baby.
Wow.
My life is completely changed. Um, but and so I'm not a struggling single mother anymore. I don't have that story. I have a beautiful story with a husband, a very supportive husband, and a great father. And I have a beautiful little girl, and I also have a granddaughter, and the two of them are being raised together. It's a very interesting story, by the way. But my children, who are my friends, they're so amazing, like the support that they give me, and I give them. And I didn't know that this would happen to me in my life, which is interesting for it to kind of come full circle like this. But I have like these three amazing people who have their wives and their partners, and we're all having this amazing family situation. Like, our best times are just having game night, or karaoke at the house. And it's every mother's dream. And then you add the newness of my other experiences that we all get to share. So I say that every day. Put 100% into your children. Let them be your focus, and you get to enjoy this beautiful relationship with them.
Wow, what a wonderful life. I mean, my heart is happy hearing all the things you're saying. It's beautiful to know and hear. Let's tell the audience first about your social media handles, where people can follow you, look you up, and then also the names of your book and where to find those.
Okay, so my social media handles would be Real Catherine Tyson. That's on Instagram. Facebook, same, Catherine Tyson. I'm also on TikTok. I've been doing some stuff. You can DM me. You can, just I do a lot of coaching. I do a lot of work with women, parents. I've had some series that I've dealt with parents when it came to they're struggling with teenagers and communication and stuff. So you can always reach out to me and someone will get back to you. And my books are I'm Somebody's Mama. They're available on Amazon, as well as Single Mama, Powerful, Not Pitiful. And they're available on all online platforms.
So, Catherine, like I said, it's an honor and a pleasure to meet you. It makes my heart happy to know that there's a family out there that even, I came from a single mother raising, right? So I know the struggle that goes with that. And
So did I.
you did a great job. So I'm very proud. We're very proud of you.
Thank
And thank you
you.
so much for doing that beautiful work. I want to thank you for coming on the show today to inspire us to, make our children our focus. It's a beautiful story. Thank you, Catherine. Tyson. Thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning into the Kornelia Stephanie Show. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. We'll see you again next week. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Kornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at korneliastephanie.com.